A Bacon King burger. And a medium fry. Whoa. This burger's fucking huge. Like, it's as big as my face. I'll take it. I was gonna eat a can of cold soup, but then I pulled in here and saw that there was a Burger King, and I was like, I want it in my face hole, you know? So, you guys, you're probably gonna see food in my mouth and all kinds of nasty shit. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. So, first of all, let's just get a look at this. Wow, that's a big burger. Smells good. Okay. Take a bite of this and then we'll get into the story. Getting this burger is the decision I do not regret. So, picture it. I don't want to be dramatic, so I'll say I'm a good 3 miles down a dirt road in the Canyonlands yesterday, circa 6 p.m. I don't know. It was, you know, sunset. And I'm like turned around coming out. Like I'm leaving. Like I'd already decided, fuck this shit. Okay? So I'm three miles down this dirt road. And I hear a sound. I hear a metal scraping sound. Sort of like a some shit you never want to hear when you're 3 miles down a fucking dirt road in the Canyonlands with no service. None. Sorry for yelling. So, I'm like, oh shit. That's a tire. So I stop. And I get out. And I walk around. And I kneel down. And I listen. And what do I hear? Yeah. That's right. Yep. That's right. Yep. Y'all. So I say to the Lord, Lord, please get me back to the main road. Because if I have to call a tow truck, I don't want to be on this motherfucking dirt road, right? So I probably stopped like one more time to get out and like, because before when I got out, I didn't turn the car off, you know what I mean? I just got out and like, you know, checked it out. Second time, right before I got off this dirt road, I turned the car off and got out and listened just to make sure that it was definitely the tire. Same thing. sound you never want to hear, ever, ever. Let alone when you're on a fucking dirt road for miles, okay? So, I make it back to the Canyonlands main road. I make it close to the entrance, and then I pull off on a scenic view, turn the car off, get out, check it, and there's no sound anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, at least there's no sound now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how this shit works, okay? So I get back on the main, like, highway, going pretty slow, and I make it to this rest area that is just down the road, and I, you know, like, I had seen it before, and I was, like, tempted to stop there. Like, before I even went and checked out the BLM shit, I was like, man, you know what? The rest area looked pretty fucking good. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me. Like, I'm rest area sexual. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that shit turns me on. It looked good. And it was good, by the way. So, I make it to the rest area, and I'm like, you know what? I'm waking up with a flat tire. I'm waking up with a flat tire. That's all there is to it. But at least I can explain where the fuck I am pretty easily to a tow truck. And the thing was is that at this rest area, the service was really sketchy. It's like, sometimes I had data and sometimes I didn't. You know what I mean? So when I pulled in there, I had service, and I went and looked up all of the local Moab, because this was like right outside of Moab. So I looked up like the local Moab towing, like both towing services, took screen caps of that information in case the data didn't work again, and took screen caps of the local tire shops. And so I would be ready in the morning to call somebody, or if by some chance I could make it there, you know, if it looked fine and whatever, then I would, you know, make it there. So I have a lovely, lovely evening at this rest area. I had a wonderful neighbor. He pulled in, you know, just in a regular car, and he, like, put the seat back, and he, you know, he was a pretty tall dude, so I'm sure it was totally uncomfortable, but he stayed there the entire time, just like I did. And everybody gets up and starts leaving in the morning, and I just, oh, God, oh, I love rest areas. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love them. Okay, so anyway, I'm a freaking weirdo. So I have a wonderful sleep. I wake up, and first thing I do is get out and look at the tire. And the tire looks fine. It looks fine, right? So I figure, you know what, alright, I'm good to drive into Moab and get to this tire auto shop. And all the while, I'm looking for the light on the dashboard that says that your tire pressure's low, right? And I didn't see it. So I'm probably about, I'd say like 8 miles out from the tire shop in Moab when the tire light comes on. And I'm like, okay, so now it's officially detecting that the air pressure is dropping. So hopefully I can just make it to this tire shop, right? And I did. I made it fine. And when I got there, it still looked fine, but it obviously, you know, was going flat slowly. I walk in there and I'm like, I've got a tire in the process of currently going flat, you know? And so they got me in there, and they plugged and patched the tire, right? And all the while I'm doing research about, you know, when should a punctured tire just be replaced? You know, like what's the criteria of repairing a tire versus it being best to just replace it? And apparently it has to do with the size of the puncture, and it has to do with where the puncture is located, and if it's in proximity to any previously patched areas, right? So if it's like on the sidewall, your tire's fucked and you've got to get a new one, you know? So apparently they assessed that it was pluggable and patchable, and that's what they did, right? But for me personally, I kind of prefer just to get a new tire. Like, from what I read, it's like you can drive the full life of the tire on a patch, potentially. But I don't like the concept of just driving around with a patch tire. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just being particular. I really don't know. Maybe somebody out there can tell me, like, yeah, you fucking moron, you definitely need to get a new tire, like, tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Chances are I will get a new one, though, because I'm incredibly obsessive. So, that was the experience, and I've been driving Bertha for over 100,000 miles now, and nothing like that has ever happened. Literally, I haven't never had any kind of problem until I started, like, scoping out fucking BLM camping spots. Like, literally never had any kind of trouble, okay? And to me, like, that says a lot. Oh, and they said it was a nail in the tire. Okay. So you can get a nail anywhere. You can get a nail anywhere. It can happen anywhere. Okay? And it definitely happened on that dirt road. Definitely. Like, there's no question. So I get a nail in my tire on a dirt road in the Canyonland. Like, really? Like, what? I mean, okay, maybe it's a lot more likely that you would get a nail in your tire on a dirt road in the middle of the fucking, like, maybe it is. But to me, all it says is that you need to stay the fuck away from, like, these fucking BLM areas. There's, like, dirt and fucking rocks and shit. It's like, you need to stay away from them. Like, I thought a rock had punctured it. That's what I thought. You know, and I guess I can believe them when they say it was a nail. If they say it was a nail, I guess it was a nail. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's crazy to me. A nail on a dirt road in the Canyonlands. Really? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just odd. What I will say is, although it's not going the way that I expected it to, it's an adventure. I mean, it's a lot more fucking entertaining than just sitting at home and, for me, like, watching other people live via the internet. You know, I used to watch a lot of YouTube and commentate on YouTube videos, you know, and the shit is entertaining, and I love watching other people's lives, you know, but it comes to a point when you should really be done taking things in, and you need to start putting things out. So while I will say yes, I am very deeply entertained by this whole entire thing. Like, the whole thing has just been fucking entertaining. Like, it's been about 2 weeks. It's been a little bit over 2 weeks, I think, since I started this journey. Maybe exactly 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't know what fucking day it is. But it feels, oh my God. Feels like a month. I mean, easy, you know. And, while I am deeply entertained, and it is, it's living, in my opinion. It's my version of living, at least. it ain't funny or cool for Bertha to get fucked with like that. And like, it's like you really got to pay attention, right, to where these bad things happen to you. It's like, bad things don't generally happen. Well, what are you doing different then? You're scoping out BLM land. That's what you're doing different. I hate to say it, but BLM land seems like a fucking no-go. And it's like, whenever I even just think about driving Bertha over like gravel or dirt or whatever, I mean, which is prevalent, I mean, you know, it's just, it cringes, you know, it's like cringe. It's like, oh God, no, please don't. Oh. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, Bertha, you know what? I'm feeling the same about it. I'm feeling the same about it, okay? So in my other video, we demand more rest areas. That's what I'm saying, is that we need parking lots, okay? Parking lots. It's not hard. If you don't want to build all-out rest areas, which you should, then why don't you just, like, pass a fucking law that says that people can use these existing parking lots or whatever? Like, come on. Like, there's just got to be some kind of way. What about all the creepy as fuck abandoned Walmarts across the freaking country? Like, chances are your Main Street America town has one of those creepy ass abandoned fucking Walmarts. It's like, why don't they just tear the fucking building down or make it into a rest area or something like that? I actually read that they were going to make them into parks or something bizarre like that. You know what I mean? Fucking anything. Just anything. Parking lots, anywhere, whatever. Just put parking lots. They don't even have to have any facilities. Just places to park overnight, and enough of these places to where we can drive on to the next one after our, overnight or 24-hour limit stay at the last one. If they were close enough together and there were enough of them, there wouldn't really be any reason to stay at one for, more than like a day. And again, pay to stay longer. This is not complicated, it's really not. And it's like, it's necessary. Because if you take out the complication and the difficulty of the issue of finding somewhere to park and sleep, which is literally all you're doing, you just want to park somewhere and sleep, if you take that out of the equation, there's like nothing wrong with this lifestyle. Like, there's no problem with this lifestyle. It's fun, it's different, and it's adventurous, and it lets you see new things and people and places. You take that equation out of it, and there's no problem, What I have an incredibly serious problem with is being miles down a dirt road and then having a problem. Okay? That's what I have a problem with. Because the thing is, there are shitloads of BLM land like around, you know, in the West. And tons and tons and tons of places to camp, right? But a lot of them don't have service. There's no cell phone service. None. Which makes the problem even fucking worse. It's like, okay, if there was cell phone service, it wouldn't be such a huge, dire, terrifying issue if you had some kind of problem, you know? It would suck, and, like, good luck getting a fucking tow truck out there, you know? But it would be better if you had service and you could contact the fucking world and be like, help me, you know what I mean? But with no service at most of these places, they're just not campable, right? And you've got all of these RVers and stuff who go around with boosters. You know, truckers have signal boosters too. Like, it's fine for them to have signal boosters. Whatever, you know what I mean? But you get these RVers going around with signal boosters. It's like, who the fuck has a signal booster? I don't have a signal booster. You know what I mean? I don't want a fucking signal booster. Like, if I need a signal booster, then I'm out in the boonies. And I don't want to be out in the boonies. Okay? I'm not a city girl. Like, not at all. But I'm also not a just complete and utter fucking wilderness person either. You know what I mean? No service, no go. It's like, no, I'm not getting a signal booster. I need the fucking signal to be good as is, right? Now, I have incredibly mixed feelings about cell phone towers and the undoubtedly terrible illnesses that exposure to those kinds of things causes, and to have those everywhere, you know, I'm sure that it does just a massive amount of damage. But in the same token, it's like, somehow it does need to be stepped up. Somehow it does need to be made so that pretty much anywhere you can have service, right? Because a lot of these issues, in ways, would be mitigated if there was service everywhere. It's like, even if there was service everywhere, though, let me be honest, like, I don't think I would actually ever be staying on BLM land out in the middle of nowhere. I really don't, you know? And it's like, the experience that I had wasn't even as bad as it could have been. It just wasn't, you know? It was like, it was dumb as a box of shit, okay? But it was not as bad as it could have been. It could have been so much worse. You know, and that's the truth. It's like, just because you have service doesn't change the fact that you're miles and miles down a dirt road and you've got a flat tire. Like, it's like that. Just, it would be better because you can contact the outside world, obviously. But, because without that, it's just absolutely out of the question. There's absolutely no way. But with service, it would be like, well, you could take the gamble. Maybe nothing will go wrong. And usually nothing does go wrong, except for every time, basically, that I'm trying to fucking stay on BLM land. Quartzsite doesn't count, like, because quartzsite is so developed. Dude, if quartzsite had, like, reasonable year-round temperatures, nobody would ever leave, like, including me. Like, I would never leave quartzsite if it wasn't for just the insanely hot temperatures. I would stay forever. Because it's so developed and the culture there is just like catered 100%. I'm turning Bertha off because she's becoming angry. So, I'm out here doing some shit that literally does not make sense to people. Like, some people get it and other people are just like, what are you doing out there? You know, it's so hilarious. Like, on BitChute, which is where all my videos get uploaded automatically, the link is actually not in the description. Fuck. Well, anyways, I'm on BitChute. BitChute.com/AnnieStacy. And BitChute is great. It's like a YouTube alternative, but your videos automatically upload there. It's fucking great. So, this guy comments on one of my videos on BitChute, and he goes, "You're not making any sense. You know, you're rambling and just like, what are you even talking about? What are you doing out there?" You know what I mean? And I was like, word. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? I understand that it makes no fucking sense to people. I understand that. And I was like, so before I'm like, well, you've got to chase the weather. And here's how I feel about chasing the weather, okay? Because I was like, well, it's too cold here and it's too hot here, and the heat is unacceptable. Like, you can't, like, cold you can put more on, but heat, there's nothing you can do about it, you know? And I actually think that heat is dangerous. I mean, obviously it's dangerous, but when you're sleeping in a vehicle, it's like, if it's above a certain temperature, I just will not allow myself to lose consciousness because it's just too hot and it freaks me out. You know what I mean? It's not good. But as far as the cold, you can just put more shit on, right? So I came to the realization that, yeah, the concept of chasing the weather is great, and obviously it's valid to a certain degree, but I bought a Mummy sleeping bag and some hot hands because my batteries, my foot warmers are just batteries, right? And you can look them up like on Amazon and stuff. It's really neat. They like double as like a phone charger or whatever, you know what I mean? It's really cool. They're awesome, right? But they take power, right, to recharge those. And that's an issue. You know what I mean? Power's an issue. It's like I've got a little solar panel, but fuck all. Like, I don't know if it does anything, you know what I mean? Like, I used it for a couple hours the other day, and it was charging the batteries, but come on, you know what I mean? It takes fucking all day to charge one of those batteries in a wall plug, let alone on a little fucking solar panel. Like, what the fuck? So, you know, the only other option is that when you're driving somewhere, you can put these things on the charge and whatnot, right? But the idea wasn't to keep driving around and keep driving around. And it was to park somewhere and fucking stay there, which is the entire idea behind BLM land or national forest roads. So far that has not like been working out super hardcore, right? So it's like, so now I am driving around. But anyway, the point is, you can't charge all these things. It's just like there's not enough time and it takes too much power and stuff like that. And I don't idle the car. Like, it's just, I just don't like to do that. You know, I don't do that. I don't idle the car. I don't use the air conditioner. I don't do any of that shit. You know what I mean? So there's like no way to charge these things, which is a problem. So with the foot warmer batteries, it's like they're pretty much dead most of the time. Both of them are dead right now. All of my battery packs are dead right now. You know what I mean? Like, I've got the big one, and it's got like 60% charge left on it. When I charged my 2 phones, and now it's got like 60% left. You know what I mean? So there's just not much power to go around, dude. And so I can't be using an exhaustible form of heat that way. If I stay somewhere where it's kind of cold at night, I can't be using those, you know. I got to use some hot hands, and I got a mummy sleeping bag, you know what I'm saying? And it won't be cold enough in most places for very much longer to justify the use of those items. But it's good to have it. You know, the one sleeping bag that I had was not for very low temperatures, and I've had that sleeping bag in the car since 2016, you know, and so that mummy sleeping bag is just gonna stay in the car forever, like, indefinitely, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so, and you know, a big part of this to me is bedding, right? Like, I love bed, and I gotta have my shit be plush, you know what I'm saying? So most of my car is bed and bedding, and it feels good. Like, believe me, like, it feels fucking amazing, dude. That mummy sleeping bag, like, I didn't use it last night because where I was pretty warm, but that sleeping bag is a good thing to cuddle with. Like, 'cause I like to cuddle some pillows and blankets and stuff like that when I'm sleeping, you know, and oh my god, it was fucking amazing, dude. So, I'm prepared to kick it in cooler temperatures. Life consists of a series of unforeseen challenges. And after, let's see, I'd say 2.5 solid years of doing research on the mobile lifestyle and taking trips now and then. I've taken 2 trips before this that lasted roughly 2 weeks each out west, to see if it was feasible for me to even, like, sleep in my car in rest areas or do any of it, you know, see if it was even possible for me on any level. The first trip in 2016 out west was to see if it was possible for me on any level. The second trip out west in 2018 was to figure out the temperature thing, like, how hot is too hot, right? And, you know, this, my third trip here, is figuring out the camping spots, the parking spots. That's what this is about. This is about figuring out where the actual total, complete, and utter fuck do you park. Because having mitigated all the other issues, in my opinion, this is the final thing. This is the biggest thing. And I try to be nice, but I do demand rest areas and parking. It's necessary. There's a lot more people out there than me who need this and want this. And, hey, I'm not gonna lie, you know, living in a vehicle is challenging. And it's like, and you know, you have people out there, most people out there are like, well, duh. They're like, why would you fucking do it anyway? Like, what are you even doing? You know, goes over to sink and runs water, you know, uses toilet, gets in shower. Like, what are you even doing? Like, why would you not live in a house or whatever, not want to do it? You know what I mean? there are people out there like who like to wander. Like, not all who wander are lost, you see. And I'm not lost. Like, admittedly, I've had shit storms in my life over the past, few years that have been just like fucking heinous, that are more of an emotional thing, that have made me feel lost as shit. Okay, but what I'm doing right here is not being lost. It's like it's a spirit of wanderlust. It's a traveler. It's a traveler kind of spirit. And I'm not lost out here. It's not that. I'm just having fun and adventuring. It's like, now I've experienced, say, for example, the Canyonlands at vastly kind of different times of the year and in different weather, right? Like, it looks rainy and cloudy and, it's not like visually fucking stunning with a sapphire sky like it has been the other times I've come through here, and so it's like, yes, so here I am, right? And we don't have the idealized version of this going on. This is like some locals shit. This is like, yeah, we've seen it in all the weather and we fucking don't care. You know what I mean? And that's what I heard the guy in the tire shop say today. He was like, the guy who worked there was talking to somebody and he was like, people come to Moab and they're gung-ho. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking stay in Moab. It's gonna be the greatest place ever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and like 6 months later, dead in the water. That's what he said. And it got me to thinking, and I felt like the other people in there were some locals and other travelers in there, and I felt the locals, and they were like, yeah, he's fucking right, dude. Like, we live here. It is what it is. We literally don't care. It's just the same shit day in and day out for us. Same shit, different day. And that's just it, is that everything is relative, right? You'll take for granted everything eventually. You think, oh, I'd never take that for granted. That view right there, I would never take that for granted. Bullshit. You will take it for granted. You will become used to it, and it'll be just another fucking day in the life, Which is why it's important not to idealize any locations or anything, actually. People and stuff like that, or nothing. Just don't idealize anything, because everything's got its fucking problems, and everything's relative. And you will get tired of it. So, I think just moving through these areas is the right way to do it. And I really struggle with the concept of stopping anywhere and staying there, If I had my way, right? Like, if my ultimate vision and dream were to become reality, I would just never stop traveling. I wouldn't. That would be what I would do. I would do this literally indefinitely, and I wouldn't stop anywhere, and I wouldn't live anywhere. I just wouldn't. It's like, I can't tell you how comforting it is to lay in the back of my car, have this be home, and when you're like kind of asleep, kind of awake, you kind of like forget where you are, and you kind of forget about it. And when I'm in the car, in the bed, it feels like you're in a comfortable, badass fucking bed in any house or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you remember I'm in the car and I'm here, and sometimes you can't remember where the fuck you are, you know what I mean? And it's great. That's great. That's exciting. That's different, And it is a great adventure, and it is so much fun. It's so wondrous. Just You know, the wheel in the sky keeps turning and don't know where I'll be tomorrow, you know? It's freedom. Freedom to go where you will. And everybody should experience it. I know not everybody wants to do it the way that I do it. But at least do it a couple times so that you can relate and understand why somebody would be out here. Be like that guy who's like, what are you doing out there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was hilarious. Like, he was like some kind of fatherly shit where it was like he sees me in the middle of the desert and he's like, what are you doing out there? You know what I mean? It's like, you got to do this at least like once or twice or whatever so that you understand what's going on, you know, and like what it's, you know, what it's like. And because to do it and to have that experience takes the fear element out of it, and then you have that familiarity of, yeah, I've done that before, so I know like what's going on. So anyway, those are my thoughts, and I still have like this much of this to eat. I can't sit here and keep talking, and this video is like really long. I cannot imagine anybody watching this. Fuck's sake. Anyway, love you.